Miranda July's Me and You and Everyone We Know is an offbeat romantic comedy drama centering on Richard, played by John Hawkes, recovering from a separation from his ex-partner, struggling to reconnect with his two sons, while also centering on Christine, played by Miranda July herself, a video performance artist struggling to get her own artistic creations exhibited at a local art gallery. A film partially influenced by Miranda July's own performance art background, Me and You and Everyone We Know portrays the variety of forms which loneliness takes via a community of unconventional supporting characters. Two teenage girls discovering their own sexual identities who begin flirting with a lonely man who writes perverse messages, pasting them on his apartment window for them to read. When the opportunity arrives for this man to have sex with the two teenagers, he is frightened at the opportunity and hides from their sight, likely due to a lack of sexual knowledge. A young 6-year-old boy, Richard's son, messages a lonely stranger online. The stranger expresses a sexual desperation, an interest in anybody interested in them, while the 6-year-old, unaware of the complexities of romance or sex, sends a request to poop into her butthole so they can share the poop back and forth forever. A childish suggestion from a child not quite aware of the wants and needs of sexuality, but the suggestion is received as an unconventional sexual proposal. An elderly man on the cusp of losing his partner to a terminal illness regrets that he never managed to take her travelling around the world like she had wanted. Miranda July's film brilliantly expresses empathy for each of these characters and the loneliness they feel, never mocking or teasing due to people experiencing different forms of loneliness, in their goal of seeking a sense of solidarity, while also managing to balance the film's unique sense of gentle humour. Me and You and Everyone We Know finds a sympathy for even the most challenging of characters. With the film's specific focus on Richard and Christine, both characters are seeking a sense of solidarity and emotional support which comes from being in love and being loved. Christine's focus is often on wanting to be loved, and Richard, after his separation, wishes to find someone to connect with as he shows signs of depression. Despite the rather conventional setup of a romantic comedy, Miranda July manages to complicate matters for her characters by flaunting genre-recognised cliches. For example, Christine and Richard walk to their cars together after meeting again at the shoe store Richard works at. They go separate ways as they parked in different directions, but as a playful gesture, Christine gets into Richard's car and suggests he can give her a ride to her own car. Richard, unimpressed and rather agitated by Christine inviting herself into his own car, expresses frustration, a gesture that may have been rather well received in a typical romantic comedy, an action that is spontaneous, suggesting that Christine is willing to find love when the opportunity arises, even when it's inappropriate to the point of jumping into the car of a man she barely even knows. This action has consequences that feel more negative, more realistic in Miranda July's film. Christine only ever has good intentions, but Richard at that moment in time was not prepared or ready for such an action. It likely felt too forward. The purity of Christine's character is established very early on when she notices a goldfish is left on the roof of a car as she's driving, and she intends to say some final words for it as she knows, inevitably, the goldfish will fall to the road and eventually die. This sequence may feel absurdist at first, but the film allows the sequence to develop with sincerity, respecting and acknowledging how fleeting, momentary, and temporary every life is, which is likely what serves as Christine's motivation to try and take any opportunity she can to promote her art and to find love. Miranda July's skills as a performance artist and her keen eye for beauty in modest imagery is prominent throughout Me and You and Everyone We Know. A framed picture of a bird on a tree branch is placed within the branches of a tree. A teenage boy creates ASCII art online, printing off an abstract piece, explaining it to his younger brother. It is Me and You and Everyone We Know. Christine's daydreams feel ethereal and romanticised, emphasising her perception of love as a harmless cliché, as the lights dim down and only her and Richard seem to exist. Richard, after separating from his partner, moving out of her house, sets his hand on fire in front of his sons. Me and You and Everyone We Know is filled with imagery that is beautiful. Images which do not sensationalise events or patronise the viewer, but images which encourages any viewer to consider its meaning, or in a more straightforward manner, to appreciate its beauty. In conclusion, Miranda July's Me and You and Everyone We Know may seem like a typical mid-noughties romantic comedy quirkfest, but the film is more poignant and sincere than that, filled with quiet humour, subtle beauty and a sense of empathy for each and every character character. Me and You and Everyone We Know feels like a pure creation, directed and written by somebody who has a love and respect for everyone and everything.